Yeah, we got some work to do on this one. Pick that, pick that. This one is just so blown out, so I don't even think we need to worry about it. Did I just do a normal flash? Yeah, that one's normal. We'll take that one as well. What's this one? That's just the ground. I actually like that one more than this previous flash, so we'll take that out of the race. I like that one too. So now we got all these next photos picked. We'll go through, select the ones that we want, and we will bring them into Photoshop. This one's going to take some work to get it looking how we want. And just by doing that simple trick, we already get all of that back in there. So that's awesome. Go here, start brightening up these areas. Grab this one, do the same thing. And this one is just for down here. Get some more of that detail in there. Match the brightness of the other one. And this one looks like, nope, don't want that. Oh, okay, that changes everything. That's the good layer that we want. So we got the room brightened up, somewhat okay. And now time to grab the windows. I'll be right back. So this one's already looking much better. I'm liking the window pull on this one. It's a little blue, but we can easily take some of that out. But now time for the hard part where we have to match this to this. Because we want that on. We do not want that looking like it's broken or anything. So here's what we're gonna try out something. We're gonna make a group from these layers. And we're making a group so that we can duplicate it. Duplicate group, just so we can have it. Merge group, where's merge? There it is, merge group. So now we have our own photo that we can turn on and off. And we still have that original group with all that stuff, but that'll just be down there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a duplicate of this layer. And we are gonna trace out this lamp right here. I don't know if this will work, but you gotta be willing to try some stuff in order to make it work. So we got our selection here, and we're gonna want to feather this selection, which feather selection. We're gonna want to feather it by like 1 pixel. We are gonna make a mask out of it, and we're gonna drag this over here. And now we're gonna do the same thing that we did for the fire earlier. We're gonna want to transform, and we're gonna want to distort. Now we can go in here, and we can transform and distort this lamp to look exactly how we want it. Now I want this to come up in there, so what we're gonna do is get our brush. Sorry for the flashes. We're gonna get our brush, go to the max on here, and we're gonna go Shift 0 so that our flow is at 100%. And we're just gonna paint in. Oh, actually, what we could do is we could clone. So rather than that, because the original image, the lamp cuts off right here. But what we can do is clone this. So let's just turn that off. Oh wait, we need that. For the time being, we're going to get rid of this. Generative fill, generate. We're just going to let that do its thing while I think about how to do this properly. All right, I have a bit of an idea. So we're going to go to the eyedropper tool. We're going to pick that right there. So we'll go here, do that, and then we'll go to solid color. There we go. I'm going to invert that, go back over, and now we need to look, since this one's on a corner, it's kind of hard to tell how this light is cast on here, but this one's on a flat wall. So if we go back to Lightroom, we can go to a different room that we've already done and see how that lamp casts a light. So it looks like it just originates from the center of the lamp and it goes outward. And then whenever it hits a wall, it changes the angle. But luckily, I don't think we need to worry about changing an angle. It just literally needs to go straight out, but it needs to be like a little bit curved up and down. So down here, same thing. We'll just bring that outward, and we'll use the fill and opacity to try and make it look as natural as possible. So let's give it a shot. And we do want this layer underneath the lamp layer because obviously we want the light to originate from the lamp and not be above it. So right now I'm just gonna take a brush and start slowly painting in. We'll go flow 100. And then what we'll do is we'll get our brush again. We'll hit X. Psych. Oh, am I painting that? Oh, all right. Let's redo everything we just did. So we just want black and white on this one. We don't want, okay, sweet. Since we're on the black and white portion of it, we're just painting in that color over this. I actually wonder, could we make this way easier on ourselves and we could just do that. Boy, that's looking pretty darn good. I mean, for creating light out of thin air, I'm liking that so far. So now what we need to do is match the way that the light casts onto this vase, and maybe match how it casts onto this portion right here. So let's just see what fill does for that. Okay. So we need to make some highlights with this layer. And I'm thinking the way that we do that is to, we might make a new, I'm thinking we make a new layer with whatever color is being cast onto this vase, because it is a different color. It's a little darker. You see how the top and the bottom, that bottom one is our original light that's cast onto the wall. But since the vase is a different material, it's going to cast a different light. So let's do that. Let's grab that. And does it need to be above or below? I don't think it. We'll go solid color. And we'll get in there. Get our hands dirty. I'm thinking what we do is we take the lasso tool and we just draw out this vase right here. Now I am just completely freeballing this. And that's sometimes what you got to do when you take these photos. It's a silly mistake to leave that lamp off, but that is what ended up happening. So since the light's also being cast on here, I'm going to also select this. All right, so we're going around, getting this lamp selected because we want this light to cast onto the lamp. I'm also grabbing this because we want that to be bright as well. All right, we got the lamp selected. All right, suppose the lamp holder. And this is where we're going to work our magic. So what we want is we're going to bring this flow down to about nothing. And we just want to paint in this color onto the lamp. That's already looking good. Look at that. And again, we'll use the fill. We'll mess around with the fill just so the actual detail of the lamp holder is showing. And look at that. Look at that, guys. This is looking great already. So I'm going to get in there. I'm going to make this a little brighter because this is where the light originates from. And then we want the light to taper off underneath. So we'll keep messing around with the fill. We will switch out our color and bring up the hardness quite a bit. And we'll just paint back and forth on here because we want the bottom part of the lamp to be darker than the top. So it's not as drastic as the one over here. And that's because this is reality and this is not reality. Boy, this is looking good. I think that looks pretty realistic. I mean, it's not as bright as this other one over here, but I mean, it looks better than it did in the beginning. That's for sure. Look at that. We just turned a lamp on. We're messing around with light. We're making it look good. And we could also go over here and brighten that up because that's also a source of light. But for the time being, I like how that's looking. We might go, I might go in further and just add some highlights here. I think we need to do that. Let's duplicate this layer. We want that same highlight color, but what we're going to do is delete that and we're just going to add another one so that we have a fresh, clean slate. Luckily, this won't be too difficult to do. All we need is the brush, and we're just going to go ahead and paint a small highlight, and we're just going to go flow 100. Luckily, what we're doing is not very destructive, so it doesn't really matter if we mess up because we can always just fix it. So we're going to start there, and we're going to scroll all the way down and just paint that in right there. So that's our first little layer that we're doing. We're going to bring it up a little bit. Actually, let's just throw that in there as well. We're going to bring this up, paint that, drag it down, and paint that in. So this is a basic highlight tutorial that we are making now. Again, our flow is up to 100%, so we don't need to worry about the fine details yet. I'm just going to paint this in a little bit, get that going, because that's where the light's originating from. We're basically just putting in a rough example, rough outline of what we want right now, and then this is where the magic happens. So we go back to our brush, and we hit X, and we feather it. We'll do that much, and we'll just start tapering this back a little bit, little by little. We'll taper this back. The light's originating from here. It's going outward. As it goes down further, it's going to dissipate. But as it stays up higher, it's going to be more pronounced. So that's why I'm just going around here. What I'm going to do from up here is we're going to get this hardness back. And flow is still at 100. We'll go here. We'll scroll down. We'll hit Shift. And it just brings a straight line down that we can work with. Now that dark part's coming back, so It might go a little more refined on this part. And I'm just, playing around with this. We're going to see what we end up with. I think it'll look good, but it also just could not look good. And we're okay with that because, like I said, this is not a destructive thing that we're doing. We're just messing around with it. So we can always go back in and change it. As you can see, that light is showing up quite a bit now. Bring the hardness back out, and we'll actually bring it down a little bit. And as you can see, the corner of that bed, of that nightstand, is showing up quite a bit more now. So I'm liking it. And another thing we can do is go back to our brush. We can bring the flow down to like 30%, something like that. And we're going to want to paint in some more light here. So we'll just do that a little bit, and then we will bring this back up, and we'll just taper it off again. Very small, subtle movements that I'm doing. Small, subtle things. That's why I bring the flow down, is because you don't want it at 100% because it won't look too good. So that's looking all right, I'm okay with that. We could even, the fill is already at 45. If we bump that up to 100, you can see that comes in a lot more. And I personally don't think that looks very good, but maybe we can bring the flow down to something a little bit higher, maybe 60. I think we were originally at like 40 or something like that. So yeah, now that light's bouncing off the corner right there. And if we group all of these layers and we turn that off, we can see that this light is really shining now. It's looking a lot better than it did. That's the original. And just by grabbing this and bringing it over, that looks more realistic. And I really don't think you can notice that much. This light's way brighter, but yeah, maybe we could even, let's just see. Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to add a curve to this light that we just did, and I'm going to boost it up. Oh, I see that down there is, so let's fix that up real quick. We're going to drag that out of the group. We don't want that in there. Mess around with that. We tried messing around with that. What we could do is go into vibrance. Let's see what vibrance does. If we drag that up, we just want it more red. That's the whole point. We want it more like the other light. And I think we're achieving that right now. Maybe we can go into exposure, and this will be a very subtle movement, because if we go too high, it'll just make it white. But yeah, look at that. So that was our first, and that's what we got out of it. Now, spent a lot of time on this photo. Typically, in order to not spend the time on it and just get the actual result that you want, you just turn the freaking light on when you're on site. That's what I should have done. I should have looked at these photos and said, that light is off. I need to figure out how to turn that light on. But that's not what I did. So now I need to suffer for my mistake. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. And I don't think anyone would notice that light is not actually real, other than you guys. You guys are the only ones that would notice. Now, one thing I'm noticing is we still have a shadow down here. So let's turn all of this off, and we'll fire that back up, and we'll see if there's any photo that gets rid of that shadow. I don't believe there is, but I think I did take a photo of something that removes that shadow. So we're going to go back into Lightroom and see if we can find anything that gets rid of that shadow. That's too bright. If I just shined a light over to the left side of the room, that's all we really need. There's my light that I shined over there. So I didn't take anything. I should have put the flash below the camera and pointed it over there. That way we could get rid of that shadow. But that ain't what I did. So that shadow is just not natural because there's so much light coming in just from this source. So I have kind of an idea of what to do. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I don't know if I'd be being destructive on this, but it's better to be safe than sorry. We're going to clone stamp this, and we're going to bring down the hardness. But for this top part, we actually need the hardness. So we'll just start with that. Okay. We'll go here. We'll just paint that in. We'll make it real soft just so we can blend it in. And eventually we're going to start seeing this lamp base come in, but that's all right. Go back to the clone stamp. Let me just memorize this. I think it's S. Of course, it doesn't show up. Yeah, it is S. Okay, so now that I know that, that's good. It's actually looking kind of promising. The shadow's coming. It's going away, and that's exactly what we wanted. So this part over here might be a little tough, but let's see what we can do with it. You kind of just got to get your hands dirty. You got to get in there and figure it out. So we'll start here. I don't like seeing those pixels. And just like that, the shadow's gone. So I think that's gonna look way better. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That's exactly what we want. See, folks, sometimes you just got to get in there. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to get in there like swimwear and get your hands dirty. And I went into this photo absolutely dreading having to do that. But if you just know the Photoshop basics, you can do a lot with this stuff. So I might just make this a video on its own. Again, we'll go to the before. That's what I freaking got out of the, oh, I need that, yeah. That's what I got out of the original, and this is the edited version of the original. But this lamp was off, and just like that, that lamp came to life. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something, and I will see you all on the next photo. See ya.